Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Cartes. Thank you very much for joining me. I have a fun project planned for us today. I hope this video inspires you to create something of your own. If you would, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. That helps me to grow this channel and to continue to bring you new projects. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please consider subscribing? And if you have, thank you very much. Well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Alright, y'all, we've got us a fun experiment we're about to do in here. So I went and dug out all the paints to add to the paints I already had inside. And what I'm going to try is to do an acrylic pour, but I'm going to actually start on some trivets, have the overpour fall onto the canvas, and then coat the canvas. So I'm going to, like, if you ever get a whole brand new box of tile, you could end up with something like this. I'm just going to take a razor blade and scrape that off. I'm going to actually take some flat black and do the sides first. And I'm going to actually, my husband went and put a drill bit in the drill for me, so this little tiny drill bit, and I'm going to actually put these little cup hooks in the back of my canvas. So after doing some research, folks are putting cup hooks back here, and then for the weight they use these I like a smaller canvas, so I have two to fit in this size, and they're still wrapped in their plastic, just for to keep them clean. So this is just an old canvas that I've taken that I gessoed over. I'm going to actually add a white coat to that prior to pouring, just to help the paint to move freely. And well, it's just always going to be one big giant experiment with me, and this will be no exception. We may or may not use our blue tape to tape up the back. Not quite sure. But I went out to the she shed and I pulled in all kinds of paint. Got our little blower. That came in handy last time. Got some Floetrol that's already strained. We'll probably strain some more. I'll make sure I put formulas of what I'm using down in the comment section, in the description section, so that you can duplicate this experiment if you'd like to. You can tell this is a bucket that I've well used. This black bucket is actually just a concrete mixing tub from Home Depot. How about that? No telling what we'll use for different things when we find them. But, alright, I'm going to get us all set up and we're going to start prepping stuff up. This should be a fun one. We've got a lot to do. Let's get to it. Well, I'm going to begin just by getting this glue and what have you off of here. It scrapes off pretty easy, and it's the only one out of, you know, a large box of them that was like this. So probably when they were sealing it up or something like that. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and drill and get my cup hooks put in there. And what they suggested is going past this little groove for when they create the frame. So I'm going to go, you know, like maybe in here past the frame, or past that groove. I could always unscrew these a little bit if my, because this will not lift it off. So scratch that idea. So I'm combining multiple things that I've seen online. And let's see. If we put 2 of those under there, that will be good. Because then what I'm going to do, oh, these will be for the back. I'm not sure if I'll use cork or this little cardboard cutout for the back of my trivets. We'll decide that once we get the paint on there. But I plan on doing this and then pouring. So what I'll have to do first step will be to paint black on the edges. I'm going to do it on here as well as the canvas. Alright, let's start there. Alright, we've got our canvas prepped up. We've got our trivets prepped up. We're going to let those set for just a little bit. I've only got a little bit of strained Floetrol left, so I'm going to go out to the she shed, strain some more Floetrol, and then we will start pouring. So this is how I strain my Floetrol. This is why I strain it, just those little gobbledygoos of stuff in there, which isn't really bad. I've seen more, I've seen less, but I've seen way more than that. But that's just sort of my contraption. Just recycle a water bottle with a funnel and one of those little sink strainers. You can use a finer mesh, but this seems to work well for me. So there's that setup. So this is my little contraption for using bulk paint. So this is just something I got from Walmart. And then I had a black mixed at Lowe's, because I guess you can't find flat black like this anymore. But I just use those water bottles because then I can just throw them away and I let them drip. So what I do is I create these bottles to create the paint pour mixes. So I'll show you that in just a minute, but this is how I go from a bulk setting to something I can use pretty easily. All right, we've got our tiles prepped up, cleaned, edges done. We've mixed up our paint. So we're going for a little bit of pastels this time just because it's kind of like an experiment. So we'll see how that all works. So we're just going to pour our paint on there. And then kind of to go over the edge. That's okay. We painted the black just in case it didn't. tip this both ways, both this way and this way. Get those two corners where I touched. Bring it back to center. Oh, look at that. Look at the cells that are coming. How nice is that? I'm going to get a little bit on this corner over here before it sets up. So one of those advantages to using Floetrol is it gives you a little bit of extra time before the paint does set up. So it is it's an extender that helps the paint to stay fluid. Alright, I'm going to move these to the side and then we're going to work on our canvas. How exciting! And I have those little feet on here, and then underneath there's some parchment paper so that I can make some acrylic skins. Look at that. How exciting is that? And then if I think I need more paint, I can add it. I think it's going to do it. I did not tape the back. I may next time. Like I said, this is all just one big experiment. And I used my spinner. I have a spin table my husband created for me. I'm just going to come in here and do this just to get the paint flowing. I can actually use these to kind of help. I don't think I really need more paint. Look at all that. Oh, they're going to make some good acrylic skins. Get the paint going to those little negative spots right there. And some people like those negative spots, and I may plan some with that, but this one here, we're going to cover the entire canvas. Okay, let's get this in down here, this little corner. And I'm glad that I painted the black on the edge. Let's see. Keep going. It's coming. All right. Let's see. So those little cup hooks are on the bottom. You can wear gloves. I don't, but I probably should. Alright, I'm going to get my hands cleaned off and then I will bring you in for a close-up. Alright, here it is. Before I take the heat gun to it. Muted colors, but that's okay. It'll be very sparkly because there's sparkle in the pink and sparkle in the gray and the silver. And then here are the trivets. There's Mufasa. Alright, here's an update on our painting. I did go in and just add a little bit of color here and there, and then use my little blower to blow it around. This little thing right here comes in handy. Right, our next step is to just let everything dry, both the coasters and this, and then we'll set about putting resin on it. Alright, there we are for now. Even with all the flim-flamming around, we still got some cells on there. Alright, so our canvas and our tiles are all dry. We'll end up painting the back, but what I want to do today is get the resin put on top and let that start to cure. So this is what we used in the first go around when my daughter was here. It's just the easy cast. And I've watched several videos. Some people say measure it in this cup and that cup, then pour it in that cup. Some people weigh it out, and I do have a little scale. But I've watched a couple, and what they did is they just literally mix it in their little silicone measuring cup thing. And you can't see it on the camera, but what it does is it goes to 100 milliliters. So this little black mark is 50. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix one part, because it's 1 to 1. I'm going to mix one part with the epoxy and one part with the hardener, and then mix it, and then pour it. And I've got a different way of pouring. Before, on the first set, we poured it and let it drip over. These other folks have poured it in the center and then use the stick that they stir with just to move it out to the edge just a little bit. There'll be a whole lot less waste with that, I think. So that's what I'm going to try with this set. This canvas will take quite a bit, so I'm going to probably I'm going to do the canvas first, because I do have other epoxy, but it's a different kind. So I don't want to try two different kinds of epoxy. It may turn out, it might be just fine to do that, but we'll try that experiment another time. And I did get these pretty little stirrers. So we'll be making some resin jewelry actually in an upcoming video. So this is the resin, this is the hardener. You know, it looks that color, but it turned out just fine. So here we go. I did stop and put some gloves on. So now I'm going to wipe my stick. And the other thing that I saw folks doing was use their glove, like on these big surfaces on a canvas like this, to use their hands to smear it out. So I'm going to try that on the canvas. You'd use way less epoxy, I think, resin. I'm just going down the sides. Wow, the colors are really popping. Of course, I'll have to change my gloves before I do my, well, I might be able to use that. If I keep one hand, like when you're breading up chicken, keep one hand clean. Wow, colors are looking beautiful on this. So I'm out of my she shed doing this because I thought it was going to smell bad again, but it doesn't really smell that bad. But I'll be able to do it and just leave it in place. I'll try this little technique over here instead of the swirls, because it'll kind of lend to the background, and it is self-leveling again, so let's see what it does. It's kind of a mottled little look when you lift it to the side. You know, it's got a little little dimples all over it by doing that. So let's do that with these. Oh, there we are. They're already getting pretty shiny. You can really see that silver start to pop out. I want to get rid of that bubble right there. That's what this little poker thing's for. Alright, so now for the big one, I'm going to get it where you can see it. There's a little area that I really liked. So I gave it that little model look by touching it with the glove. Right, I did go back in and add some little silver leaf. These will be getting a second coat of resin tomorrow. You can see it didn't, it pulled away. Even though it had a nice thick coat on top, when it dried, it's almost like it shrank. This is my first time trying to do anything like this. You see all those little divots. There is no silicone, so that's not the issue. So here we are. It has dried pretty much to the touch. Got a few sticky spots, or I guess it must have been thicker. See all those little divots? So what I did is I did a little bit of research, and those came out really nice, and those are all dry. So I think it has something to do with, number one, surface, which is a canvas, versus the ceramic tile, and then just the amount, because they were all mixed the same. So I don't think it's like a sticky resin kind of problem. But I did a little bit of research, and to fix this canvas, just because that is so much resin, I'm going to actually give it another day to set, and then I'm going to put some oil-based urethane to finish covering it, to try to fill in these divots and see what happens. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix up resin to finish out these tiles. They do recommend that you sand just slightly in between, and then I'll probably take rubbing alcohol and clean them off. But that you can go ahead and put that second coat on there. Alright, I'll get that taken care of, and then I'll show you our final product before we put, because we still have to take care of the backs, and then put something on the back of each of the tiles. Alright, we're making progress. So this is working super easy. I'm just taking this and scuffing up the edge. Not putting hardly any pressure on it at all. And it just scuffs it up a little bit. And then once I get all four done, I will get that rubbing alcohol out and clean them off. Let them dry. And then mix that next little bit of resin. Alright, so it's been a couple days since I put all the top coats on all of this, and I still have some places that are just slightly sticky, so we went out and we got some of this. We've used that before without resin, and the tiles turned out very nice. So I'm going to put a light coat on top of these just to see if I can seal it. Don't know if it's where I had it setting in the she shed, which was in front of the AC unit we have out here, in front of a fan. Maybe that did something with the curing. Not quite sure. Alright, let's get these sprayed and see if we can save these projects. We did try doing a canvas. Try to be able to let you in to see that. And then of course the tiles to go with it. So we poured the tiles sitting on top of that canvas. And we used resin again. And then I used that little rotary tool to grind off the little bumps on the back. And then we painted each one and sealed it again to get those little feet on there. Super simple. Let me show you how I did that. So basically I just have the tile, I have the little feet, and I'm using E6000. That seems to work well. Hardest part is getting this thing open. Especially after you use it a time or two and the glue gets stuck up in there. But basically just, I put these in that outer square. So just put a little dollop of glue. Cap it, and then put the little feet on there. Just give it a good press, and that glue does a good job sticking it down there. Those little feet, the little felt circles come in like a little package like this. And then of course remember I put the little hooks in the back of our canvas. You can't even see those holes once it's all said and done. And this is actually where the pour came through. But then I painted the sides and I went ahead and gave that a little seal just to give it a little bit of shine. So we'll let these set out here in the she shed and just cure completely. And they'll be ready for gift giving season. And there we are. I got a little bit of those metal flakes in there. And we did silver and gold on these. So they're kind of pretty. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to create something of your own. If it does, send me a picture in the comments below. Well, I hope you liked it. Like the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would you please consider subscribing? And well, until next time, happy crafting.